Some friendships are written quietly in history, not in headlines, but in footsteps that crossed oceans and stood side by side when it mattered most. Today, we remember one of those stories. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the arrival of Colombian troops during the Korean War, a moment that shaped a lasting bond between our two countries. But beyond history, Colombia is also a country of rhythm, color, and imagination, of music that moves, stories that linger, and art that invites us to see the world a little differently. So today we're opening a window to Colombia through its culture, its people, and its voice. We are honored to be joined by His Excellency Yobani Velásquez-Quintero, Ambassador of Colombia to the Republic of Korea. Your Excellency, it's an honor to have you with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here to share with you our music, our history, our common history. And as you said, we come in a very difficult moment to help Korea and to help Korea to preserve the peace in this peninsula. And remember, the friend in need is a friend indeed.
Yes, a friend in need is a friend indeed, yes. And Colombia definitely has been that friend for Korea back in the days. And I don't think I've actually said this word in this program, His Excellency. I don't think I've ever said this. And it's kind of awkward to say it, but I guess you're really used to it, right? His Excellency, yes?
Yes, but I'm trying all the time to break this kind of rules, to be more close to the people, to make this diplomacy close to the people, not in the bubble, in the diplomatic world. This is why when I come to a country, I'm already for more than 30 years in the diplomatic service, I always try to approach to the real life, to real people.
Which is kind of surprising because I was very surprised to learn that you came here by yourself with just one translator, because when an ambassador visits a broadcasting station, right, the whole troop, about nothing wrong with it, the entourage of 10 people show up, but together, right? But I was kind of surprised that you were here by yourself and just a translator.
I was surprised too, when they say, who is coming? It's me.
Oh, really?
It's not only me, it's music, it's Colombia, And I have the support of the music, and then because the music is the real, the music has no borders, and then I was so surprised too. I know, because some colleagues, when they go, they come like a demonstration, And nowadays in Korea, when you see all the time demonstration, I don't want to frighten nobody, waiting for some.
Right, and I was very surprised to learn that you are such a passionate fan of music and you wanted to introduce the country of Colombia through music. I was really fascinated by that idea, and we'll get to that part just a bit. So you were appointed as the ambassador earlier this year, right? January this year. You've been here only a couple of months now, right? And what has been your impression of the country so far?
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's for less than about 70 years, come from ages to this first world, and then of course we come in. It's very interesting to learn how you did it, how you manage, how this. When I go out and see, for example, the metro, we in Bogota, we don't have. We are building one line, and then recently, in a meeting in the city hall, they asked me about how do you feel here, and say, terrible. Why? They say, because we don't have metro, and then you suffer with the traffic. And here you have too much. It's 9 lines, When you start, oh my God, too much, This is the first impression. It's a real miracle.
Right. So when you say you take a subway, you ask which line here, right? Like which one? We have like 9 of them, right? I see.
In Colombia, we only make jokes, Of course, we have Medellin. Medellin is a quite developed city. This is a city that deserves a program. And then they have, but it's the second city. But Bogota, the being the capital, we don't have metro. You know, we only make jokes. Sometimes the people wanted to run somewhere, then I say, "Oh, take the line number 2." The people is looking at you, and then, "Oh my God, you are so cruel. We don't have metro." You know.
So you said you mentioned that 30 years in diplomacy, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that you have been to many different countries. Can you just name a few countries that you been to as a diplomat?
Yes, in Asia, I was already posted in Malaysia, and then Hong Kong, and now it's improving. You know, it's going higher.
Yeah.
And now Korea.
I see.
And then it's in Asia, and then I was posted, I think, to all continents because I was in Latin America, in Ecuador,
Right.
and then in Europe and Amsterdam and Moscow. And now here, you know, these 3.
Any particular country that you kind of really was memorable for you?
Yes, there is something strange. I feel very good in Malaysia because just look at me. I look like Malay.
Oh, you do?
And really, the attitude to me was very different. I remember the other colleagues, diplomats, they wanted to have an interview or a meeting, an appointment with somebody, and they asked me in the government, and they said, "Yobani, come and help us." And they say, "Why you don't?" They say, "No, they don't want to listen to us." But you, and really, I feel that I was very close to them. As a race, as a people.
Yeah.
And remember that one of the theories of appearance of American men, they say they come from Southeast Asia. The men of Java, you know, is here.
Right.
Then they travel along the sea or walking through the Bering Straits. You know, and really when you come to some places, for example, when I was in Vietnam visiting, I found a place that it was like in Colombia, in the north, in the mountains. The indigenous people was the same. The colors, the designs was very. And then I was thinking, how it happens, you know, that being so far, we have something in common. And then for me, it's really genetically. I'm biologist, you know, and then I believe that this is some have to be with Malaysia.
I see. So you're a diplomat with a background in biology.
Yeah.
I see. That's fascinating too. Wow, we have so much more to talk about. This year actually marks the 75th anniversary of the arrival of Colombian troops during Korean War, and many people do not know this. Colombia was the only Latin American country that sent troops under its own flag. How do you see this? There is a very special connection between the two countries, you know, just by mentioning that fact, right? How do you see this kind of a historical connection in shaping the friendship between Korea and Colombia today?
As I told you, we come, especially in Latin America or in Colombia, we have a very sometimes difficult history, you know, conflicts and internal, and this is quite difficult for us. We signed recently peace agreement, and we know all this war, and then I think this sometimes I don't want to believe that it's a destiny, but sometimes some people or some countries has to be together.
Right.
And there is a right moment that put together and to share the history, and then this friendship so far, this is more for me as a child. When I was a child once in the parade of National Day, I saw a battalion Colombia, the soldiers. For me, Korea so far. What happened? You know, very strange. And now I meet the answers. You know, being here. Learning the experience with the people here, with Colombian veterans. And this is very amazing, and quite challenging, you know, because you just not as a diplomat to come and promote Colombia. We have a very common history, very strong ties, and then this is more challenging. It's not easy. It's like another place you come and do your job, but this is a real brotherhood, and then you have to honor.
Right, you have to take that into consideration. There is a monument actually in Incheon commemorating the participation of Colombian troops in the Korean War. Have you been to that Korean War memorial? for Colombian troops? Is in
Not
Incheon?
not yet, not
Yeah,
yet,
yeah, okay.
because it's only 2 months here, and it's very how to say
Yeah.
pressure, it's meetings, it's
Right.
running, and no, it's so many things, so many people, so many entities, and I'm all the time writing. You see. Writing.
Right.
I'm having ideas and writing to Colombia or writing here. I need this. For example, recently I was in one meeting and somebody sent me, oh, look, Botero is coming here. And then, okay, we have to meet the museum. We have to meet the people to know when is he coming, when is
I
the
see.
exhibition, and writing,
Yeah.
And then here is a very how to say, active society. Very.
Right.
Sometimes, sometimes you are afraid. Oh my God, I cannot. They say about competitiveness, and I don't want to say. It's a very active society.
Right.
And there's so many opportunities. I'm all the time writing, and then sometimes I send to the
Right.
secretary, to Nicole, a word, and I say, no, it's just to remind me. We have to look which opportunities we can.
I see. There's the hurry, 빨리 culture in Korea, right? Okay, we'll get to that part. Okay, just give me some time, right? So before moving on, we have a special prize for our listeners, special quiz giveaway for our listeners. If you can guess the answer to this quiz and text us your response, we'll select 2 listeners. Each person will receive 50,000 won voucher for either of these Colombian restaurant in Mapogu. First one is Colombiano, and the second one is Casa Latina. 저희가 퀴즈를 준비했는데 아주 어려운 퀴즈를 준비했습니다. 정답을 보내주신 분들 한 분, 2분을 추첨해서 각 한 분께 콜롬비아노, 그다음에 카사 라티나 마포구에 위치한 콜롬비안 레스토랑 5만 원 상당의 식사권을 준비했습니다. So here's the quiz. Very difficult. We might need some hint. What is the capital city of Colombia? And I think Ambassador has given the answer a couple of times throughout this interview already. So again, 콜롬비아의 수도는 어디입니까? What is the capital city of Colombia? Actually, Koreans might be more familiar since there were actually a OTT drama that takes place in this city with Song Joong-ki, a very famous actor. So there we go. Okay. 문자로만 보내주셔야 되고요. 아침 생방에만 해당이 됩니다. 문자로만 보내주시면은 2분 추첨해서 바우처 드리도록 하겠습니다. Okay, let's get it started. So I love the idea that you wanted to introduce the country, Colombia, through music. And I was just very fascinated by this first song by Anna Y. Jamie. I know it's in English pronunciation.
Ana and Jaime.
Ana
and Jaime.
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 Sorry
No, we have a soccer player called James, but for us it's the same. We read James, and in English James, and it's quite confusing.
Right. And this song, in its lyrics, has all these symbols, symbolic, figures or things about the country of Colombia. Before we listen to the song, what are some of the things that are mentioned in this song that really represent the country of Colombia?
First is the coffee,
Coffee,
and
of course, yes.
because we are, the now that we're the third producer, but we do see the size of country. Brazil is the first, because it's very big, and now Vietnam, but we are the third. But our is the best coffee.
Of course,
it's a trademark already.
Yes.
Café de Colombia.
Yes.
Brazil cannot say Café de Brazil. Of course, this is very strange, but this is legal, And then we have the right to say Café de Colombia.
Uh-huh.
And one thing I'm very surprised because, it's the first country in which I found so many coffees, in the street, even together.
Yeah.
Local and foreigners, and 3. Recently I saw 3, is some, I don't know, you can say the name, 3. And they say international, local, and local together.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the collection of looking for the Colombian coffee, and I have already the collection on international mark and local marks with, I see Colombian coffee.
I see.
And this is quite, when I see the market of coffee, I say, it's ours. Nobody can, other countries are selling coffee, but I say, don't lose your time.
Right.
Korea is ours,
Right. You can actually show that because we are on Viewable Radio. You brought a couple of packets of coffee.
And this is Loca, Edilla, you know?
I
Loca.
see. Okay.
And I see, of course,
Colombia Supremo.
And
Right.
then our flag.
I see.
And then this is, look, it's
Yeah.
a Starbucks
Yeah.
with Colombia.
Right. I see. Wow. I guess you feel very proud of it, I guess, as a Colombian.
Yes, of
right?
course, to see the name of your country everywhere. And as I told you, in 3 places, I enter and I found Colombia. And this is quite, you mean very happy because of your country, and second because of the economy. You know,
Right.
Korea is buying Colombian coffee. This is that we don't have to fight with this market because it's ours. You know,
Right. And other than coffee, there are many things that are mentioned in this song. But we'll listen to the song first. Could you do the honor of introducing this first song for our listeners?
The name is Café y Petróleo by Ana and Jaime.
Tu patria es mi patria, tu problema es mi problema. Gente, tu bandera es mi bandera. Amarillo, oro, azul, sangre azul. Y el pobre rojo, sangre que sangra, que sangra, que sangra. Tu patria es mi patria, tu problema es mi problema. Gente, tu bandera es mi bandera. Amarillo, oro, azul, sangre azul. Y el pobre rojo, sangre que sangra, que sangra, que sangra. Café y petróleo, cumbia del mar, joropo del llano, aguardiente y ron. Hola chico, a la Coca-Cola, concha le vale, como son las vainas. A 5 el saco, al 8 el barril. Vento, 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 vento. ¿Quién da más? Nadie da más. Entonces vendido la Coffee Petroleum Company. Simón Bolívar, libertador, murió en Santa Marta, en Caracas nació. Porque no importa dónde se nace ni dónde se muere, sino dónde se lucha. Tu patria es mi patria, tu problema es mi problema. Gente, tu bandera es mi bandera. Amarillo, oro, azul, sangre azul. Y el pobre rojo, sangre que sangra, que sangra, que sangra. Café y petróleo, cumbia del mar, joropo del llano, aguardiente y ron. Hola chico, a la Coca-Cola, concha le vale, como son las vainas. A 5 el saco, al 8 el barril. Vendo, 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 vendo. ¿Quién da más? Nadie da más. Entonces vendido a la Coffee Petroleum Company. Simón Bolívar, libertador, murió en Santa Marta, en Caracas nació. Porque no importa dónde se nace ni dónde se muere, sino dónde se lucha.
That was first song selected by His Excellency, Mr. Velásquez, the Colombian ambassador to Korea. Café y Petróleo. Sorry.
This song was in the 70s, was very controversial because it touched part of our history and the problems. You saw they are talking about petroleum is oil.
Yes.
And remember that now it's quite difficult, especially for Korea, you know, because of the situation in the world. And then it was very controversial because touched a lot of things that nobody wants you to see.
Yeah.
But it's very inspiring because it's remembering our history, the colors of our flags, our common history with Venezuela. Bolívar is our national hero, and but it's
yes. I mean, it's amazing how one song talks about so many things about Colombia, like coffee, oil, and it also talks about the joropo.
Joropo is a rhythm that we share with Venezuela.
Right.
Cumbia is a rhythm, dancing, you know.
Yeah, music
a rhythm
style,
that
yeah.
we share with Mexico,
Right.
for example.
Yeah, I see. Wow. I mean, this song in itself is worth talking about for about 50 minutes, I think. There's so many stuff that it has that we need to talk about. But we'll have to move on because we have other things to talk about. Talking about this artist, Shakira, because kind of could surprise a lot of people because, people might not be so familiar with Shakira as a background, being a Lebanese, Colombian person. So what kind of figure is Shakira to Colombia?
You know, first it's showing that how we are open, however our society was formed, you know, because in Colombia we had during the colony or before they say the discovery of Americas or the meeting of two worlds, there was indigenous people, you know, then come Spanish and you see the Spanish, they were very long time, 500s, influenced by Arab. You know,
Right.
Muslim.
Yes.
This is why. And then the black people, the black population was bring as slaves, you know.
Yeah.
And then this is a mix of cultures, you know, it's just to showing how our music is influenced by African, you know, European and Asian and Middle East, you know, and our local communities, our
Right.
indigenous people.
Right.
And they settled, this population from the Middle East, they settled in the north coast of Colombia, Barranquilla. Remember, there is a song, Hips Don't Lie,
Right.
that she mentioned about
course.
Barranquilla. You know, Barranquilla.
I see.
This is the city where she was born. It's in the north.
So she is very proud of her heritage, obviously, as a Lebanese, a Colombian person. I guess we can say that she is sort of a symbolic representation of a diversity of the country, Colombia. Right?
This is the thing that we are more proud, you know, because, for example, when I was in Moscow posted, and we have a meetings, you know, I went with the ambassador, Ernesto Huertas, and he was a very tall guy. He's a German, very tall, white, you know, blue eyes. Then was a military attaché, was African one, and then me. And then the people look and how is in this country? And they ask, are you Colombians? Yes, we are Colombians. Yeah, because we were in the line.
I see.
And the people just first, you know.
Right.
Some countries, you know, the people look similar. But in Colombia, no.
Right, I see. Diversity right there. Yeah. Okay, so we have to listen to Shakira's song. It's unfortunately, it's not Hips Don't Lie, but another song by Shakira. Can you introduce this song?
This is the best song of Shakira.
Yeah.
For me, it's because it's the lyrics, is the sound, you know, is very romantic. It's very, and you know, this is the soundtrack of one movie,
Right.
the time of the Laugh in the Times of Cholera.
Yeah.
And this is based on the book of Garcia Marquez.
Right.
And you see, we show in one song is like the previous one. We can touch everything, you know, literature, you know, Gabriel Garcia Marquez was Nobel Prize,
Right,
you know.
of course. I love that link actually because that is something that we'll talk about after this song. Okay, let's get to this song first and then talk more about that. Okay.
And this is the song Ay Amores. There is sometimes laughs, you know, by Shakira.
Okay, so Shakira, Ay Amores.
Ay Amores.
Ay Amores. Let's go.
Ay, mi bien, ¿qué no haría yo por ti? Por tenerte un segundo, alejados del mundo y cerquita de mí. Ay, mi bien, como el río Magdalena, que se funde en la arena del mar, quiero fundirme yo en ti. Hay amores que se vuelven resistentes a los daños, como el vino
marchita con los años, así crece lo que siento yo por ti. Hay amores que se esperan al invierno y florecen, y en las noches del otoño reverdecen, tal como el amor que siento yo por ti. Ay, mi piel, no te olvides del mar.
Welcome back to 1012 1013. I'm your PD DJ EQ. Today we are joined by His Excellency Yobani Velásquez-Quintero, Ambassador to Colombia, to the Republic of Korea. Talk about the music and culture of Colombia. Welcome back, Mr. Velásquez, Ambassador. We have a message actually from one of our listeners. I think it is directed to you. 신설풍 씨 sent this message. It's in your language, so let me read it. Okay, Viva Colombia, su voz es muy atractiva, señor embajador. Am I making sense? Can you translate what I just said?
Viva Colombia is hurra, hurra Colombia, and there's, your voice is very attractive.
Ah, okay. Do you hear that a lot? That your voice is very calming.
No, really. No, really, sometimes it's not easy, to see you in the mirror or to see or to listen your voice.
Yeah.
I try to avoid this. For example, I never leave voice messages, never.
It feels kind of strange, right?
Yes, it's kind of strange.
Voice, right? Okay, we get to, there's a lot more to talk about. Before moving on, we have a special giveaway for our listeners, a special quiz. 준비되어 있습니다. If you can guess the answer to this quiz and text us your response at sharp 1013, we will select 2 listeners. Each will receive a 50,000 won voucher for either of these Colombian restaurant in Mapogu. One is a Colombiano and the second is a Casa Latina. So here is the quiz. What is the capital city of Colombia? 콜롬비아의 수도 도시는 어디인가요? 정답을 아시면은 문자로 보내주시면 됩니다. 샵 1013 50원의 문자 이용료 부과되고요. 보내주신 분들 중에 2분을 추첨해서 콜롬비안 레스토랑 5만 원 식사권을 드리도록 하겠습니다. Speaking of Colombian food, what is would you say is the representative food of Colombia?
Colombia is a very big country. We have more than 1 million square kilometers.
Right. Yeah.
And we are divided into many regions. We have a Caribbean region, this is on the north. Then Andean region is the mountains.
Yeah.
Then the savannas, then the jungle. And then this is why it's quite variety, quite diversified the food, But one thing that I found that is common to all Colombia is the soups. In every region you find, for example, in my region, I'm from Bucaramanga. This is my native town. We have a mute. This is a soup with corn. And we have another one, this sancocho. It's meat. It have to be with meat, sometimes with chicken or with fish. Tapioca, potatoes, green bananas.
Yeah.
And in Bogota we have cuchuco, and in many places I think this is the common line is the land of soups.
I see.
And for me it's very important. The soup is
You need your soup.
Yeah, I need a soup for lunch or.
Have you tried any Korean soup? Korean soups are
yes, of
kind
course.
Of spicy.
No, but you have one that is with bones, with meat, with potatoes, gambit.
감자탕 or 갈비탕?
This is because I'm doing the presentation. I'm putting the Colombian caldo de costilla, and I'm putting this together because the same is the same.
Kind of similar ingredients.
Yes, it's similar ingredients.
So I guess your geographical sort of a diversity of the country, right, kind of attributes to diverse kind of food, kind of developed in different regions, I guess.
Yeah, yes, and products, because, we have the soil is quite good, and we can have crops along the year. It's not like here that you have, winter and summer. No, we have the temperature is the same all year. For example, Medellin is called the eternal spring,
Yeah.
the eternal spring, and this is quite good. Bogota is, is eternal winter. For us, winter is when there is rain seasons.
I see.
And then in summer is when there is hot,
Yeah. Your ambassador is giving a lot of hints for today's quiz as he was speaking. So, last song that we listened to before the break was Shakira, Ay Amores, right? Did I say that right?
Ay Amores.
Ay Amores. And then you mentioned this link because the song was used in the film called Love in the Time of Cholera, right?
Yeah.
Which is based on the Nobel Prize winning author Gabriel Garcia Marquez, that novel 100 Years of Solitude, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I think if you are Korean, I think you must have read 100 Years of Solitude at least once, because it is one of those classic epic novel recommended by the school and everybody, right? But how is the link with that movie and that fiction by Garcia Marquez?
There was look, in Latin America we are very, how to say, dramatic. We love these K-dramas. We like this, and this is a history about love, and but presented by him, and then how loves develop,
Right.
when they're young, how the life separate these people, and they show the main river in Colombia, that is Magdalena's River, and Cartagena is a heritage of the world, and this is when you see it's all connected.
Right. I mean, talking about drama, 100 Years of Solitude has a lot of dramas in it. That is an understatement.
And from generation to generation.
Yes.
No. Recently, I was invited to a seminar about Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and I say, no.
Yeah.
I'm diplomat. The diplomats, we talk about everything, but we don't know nothing. And then just to talk about Garcia Marquez, has to be a specialist.
Right.
I have a friend, writer, Cesar Alzate in Medellin.
Yeah.
I'm inviting him to come here and I say this author, because this is the guy that translated Garcia Marquez into Korean.
Oh, I see.
And I was so happy and proud of this, but I don't want to be with a specialist,
Yeah.
being not a specialist,
Yeah.
And this is, I say, no, we have to wait for my friend.
Yeah.
He's a writer. He is a professor in the university. Right. He has many books, and I invited him, and then connected with this translator to really talk about Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Right, I see. We have to move on to the next song. This song, cause has a lot of stories related to it as well. This one, let me pronounce this one. Atercio Perados, right,
Yes.
is the name of the artist, the band, right? The song is El Estuche.
Yes, the
Yes.
covering,
Yeah.
el estuche.
Right.
Aterciopelados.
Right. Would you explain why you brought this song?
Because, nowadays, and especially here too, I come and the people are, a slave of this, how to say, a stereotype of beauty,
Right.
And it's mass media, it's these K-dramas, and sometimes this influence, this influence is very negative,
Right.
Because you go, because even the people in Colombia is asking me, oh, how do you are dealing with this so many beautiful ladies and men? I say, no, it's normal people. It's normal people. I am in the metro and I see as a normal people. And of course, I'm against this because, it created a very, how to say, not real. No,
Yeah.
and many people are suffering because they cannot fix to this standard.
Right.
And they forget that this only in K-dramas or in the movies. Of course, they want to sell.
Yeah.
But in the real life, is not.
Yeah.
And sometimes the people suffer too much because of depression, because they feel that they are not, they have no place in this society. We have the same, And then I'm against this, and this group, Aterciopelados, is singing about this. That the most important is the essence.
Right.
What do you you have inside, not the cover. This estuche is the cover. When you put some inside, this is the estuche.
Right.
And this is the for me. And this Aterciopelados is a group, and the singer is Echeverry, Andrea Echeverry.
Yeah.
She's quite good. They were nominated in the Grammy in the category of alternative rock.
I see.
And she's a very, special personality in Colombia.
Right.
Once I met her in the street. I was in one shop, and then I was looking for some T-shirts, and somebody asked behind me, how much is this? And I was petrified. Listen her voice, and then I turn in a slow motion, and I look at her and say, "Are you?" And she say, "Yes." And then the people that were there, you didn't ask an autograph or take a photo. I say, I was petrified, because she's a very strong personality, a very strong leader, a very good singer, a very good composer. You know, this is one thing in Colombia. Our singers, they are composers. You know, are very good. There is not just singing songs that they don't. This is why they can sing with feeling, you know, because they are writing. They are really feeling. It's not that somebody gives the song and remember this my way. My way. The Frank Sinatra hates My Way. He doesn't want to sing because he never, you know, he was not an author. But this lady, when she sings, you see the feelings that she's involved really in the song. She has many controversial songs. This is one of the less controversial songs.
I see.
But this is very good for the society, telling what is important. Important is what do you have inside, not outside.
Right. El estuche means the case in English, right? I think the cover, the case, right? I think that's kind of what says about this song, the beauty and the stereotypes about beauty and the social expectation. Can you introduce this song? So you are starstruck by this person, right? Is it fair to say, right?
And now El Estuche by Aterciopelados.
No es un mandamiento ser la diva del momento. ¿Para qué trabajar por un cuerpo escultural? ¿Acaso deseas sentir en ti todos los ojos y desencadenar silbidos al pasar? Mira la esencia, no las apariencias. Mira la esencia, no las apariencias. El cuerpo es solo un estuche y los ojos la ventana de nuestra alma aprisionada. Mira la esencia, no las apariencias. Que todo entra por los ojos, dicen los superficiales. Lo que hay adentro es lo que vale. Mensajeros alados, intentando aterrizar. Si abres el estuche, lo que debes encontrar es una joya que te deslumbrará. Ay, pero mira la esencia, no las apariencias. Mira la esencia, no las apariencias. 90, 60, 90, sumando 240, cifras que no hay que tener en cuenta. Mira la esencia, no las apariencias. No te dejes medir, no te dejes confundir. Agúzate.
Aterciopelados, Estuche, the case, the cover, beautiful song, and wow, really nice. Really love that track. Our listeners are giving us some questions for our guest, the ambassador, and one of our listeners said they bought really beautiful flowers that are imported from Colombia. So Colombia is known for their flowers too?
Yes, of course. We are the third producer of flowers.
Yeah.
And this is why, for me, it's a must, to celebrate International Women's Day everywhere.
Yeah.
I learned this from the Soviet Union when I was studying. And this is the day that you pay homage to all women. And especially for me, I'm very proud of being raised by the single mother, my mama.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they are listening in Bucaramanga.
Yeah.
And all the time when I do this, I remember my mama. I pay honor and remember my mama.
Right.
And this is the day special when you pay tribute to all ladies, because in Colombia we have days for everything, for mama, for papa, for a cousin, for every. But this is International Women's Day when you remember your mama, you remember your sisters, your friends. And with flowers for me are very important.
Yeah.
I'm promoting everywhere the flowers. And even if I cannot find, but the first thing that I do when I come to the testing is to look where are the flower market. The big one, the flowers, not the small one, the big one, because this is you come and to know when flowers are coming, and to find flowers to share flowers with ladies. This is the first thing that I do. I did with our team in the embassy. Now I'm doing with my colleagues. There is 22 ambassadors, female here. Yeah. Then the wife of the ambassadors, and this is the way that you just get to the heart of the people, And then you need something, and then the flowers. For me, I feel very happy when I see the face of the people. When I was in this center, these days, last week we were running everywhere with flowers. Yeah. I was in the city hall. I was in one center, and you cannot imagine the happiness of the ladies with the flowers in the whole city. In the city hall, they say it's the first time, and then of course I give a speech about the lady too. Yes, because I remember my mama, Eugenia. Yeah, she is more than 90. She is quite alive. I'm so happy. 90. Yes, that she is the God keep her, healthy at this age. I'm very proud of her. And many people is asking, and in the previous post in Hong Kong, when are you bringing your mama? We want to, because I show the videos how she's alive, how she dances, and then for me, this is very important. And this, look, behind all of this, you are promoting economy, very slow. This is because called soft diplomacy, because now I bring flowers and the people, we say, oh, Colombian flowers. Yeah. And then if we'll go to one flower shop or to the market, they will look for Colombian. They say, oh, somebody bring me Colombian flowers. Right. Look for Colombian flowers. I see.
Hey, your people at your embassy is really lucky to work with you. You give them flowers, right? And they don't have to accompany you to a broadcasting station, right? What a great boss you are. I think I would have to say that for sure. Another question from our listeners. This one is from Sergio Augusto Garcia Vera. Long name. I want to visit Colombia. Which city do you recommend us?
Look, I'm from Bucaramanga. This is my hometown, and of course, I would like to put Colombia on the top, even for the presentation of credential. I'll bring in Colombian coffee. I'm bringing a book from Bucaramanga, and to emphasize this, coffee from Santander, from my region, to put my city. But we have to be realistic. The city they have more to offer in Colombia. Is Medellin. Medellin is quite. It's like you are in Europe, but it's a city, European city in Latin America.
I see.
They have metro, they have tram, they have cable car. The people is so friendly that sometimes you see suspicious. Why are so friendly? The hospitality.
Right.
This is the city that I'm visiting since 1986. And every time when you go, you see something new. The progress. It's showing how the Colombians are, how we can progress, how we develop. And this is the city that I advise to visit. The friends that they are visiting Colombia, they are very surprised because it's in the mountain. You see the geography in Colombia is not flat; it's mountains, and to see the streets, how they are going up. Here they have some hills,
Yeah.
but Medellin have really hills,
What was the name of the city one more time?
Medellin.
Medellin?
Sí, Medellin.
Medellin, okay.
Medellin.
Okay, hope that answers your question. I think we're almost at the near of the interview. I wanted to actually just touch upon this one because there's an exhibition that is going on that features one of a Colombian artist, Fernando Botero.
Yeah.
There is it's going from actually April 24th to August the 30th at the 한가람 미술관. Would you say Fernando Botero really sort of represent the art of the country, Colombia? How would you define his art?
It's at the beginning, the people was questioning him. Why about these figures, and especially when the society are looking for this perfection with this, this is why I put there,
Yeah.
There is of course some stereotypes,
Yeah.
I'm not against this. It's your decision. If a lady want to be there or the guy want to be like this, it's your decision, And of course when he comes with this fatty woman,
Right.
and he explained, I'm an artist. This
Right.
come to me, and now you are asking me why, and of course they use this, and but he has the opportunity to show that there is no stereotype, that we have
Right.
to think about the real world, and now these figures. Till now, many people asking how they come to this,
Yeah.
But he has not only this; he has a lot of political, very, very strong political works. For example, the prisoners of Abu Ghraib,
Yeah.
and many works about violence in Colombia.
Right. Yeah.
He is very involved. Really, was involved in the history of Colombia and the development of art, and make international.
I see.
And make international one.
Right. I would have to say his work is very realistic. It's just to show the person as that she is, kind of it could be a chubby person or, But I think we're running out of time. We have to announce the winner for the voucher. 두 분 저희가 뽑았는데요. 축하드립니다. 5616님, 그 다음에 2937님, 5616, 29371. The food voucher for Colombian restaurant. We'll get in touch with that, with those two listeners. Again, Ambassador, thanks for being here. I know we wish we could have 2 hours of more talk to talk about all this stuff. We haven't even finished what you brought, but this is time to say goodbye. Thanks for being here, and best of luck with your time in Korea. And best of luck and good health to your mother, who is over 90 years old, right?
Yes.
And thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
And have fun in Korea and
감사합니다.
try all this food, different food, and try all these different soups as well.
Yeah.
Right. Can you introduce the last song? This one is by Carol G. The song is Papacito.
This is the most popular now Colombian. I think she is most popular than Shakira now.
Oh, really?
And this is a mix of beauty, the rhythm. This is she's Colombian, but this song is lambada from Brazil, and showing how our a mix of cultures that we accept others and do like ours. Of course, we have a local rhythm, vallenato and more, But I want to present this as a diplomat to show how we are open to the world.
I see. Okay. So we leave you with Carol G. Papacito. And thanks again, Ambassador, being here. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I saw you there, looking so good tonight. I swear to God I'm dying to kiss you.
My heart, Pepe, it's beating so, so fast. I didn't know how much that I need